ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Eagle Eye Podcast. We're not even actually giving ourselves a number on this one because it's just a late night edition of the podcast. Me and Dylan are here today. Dylan, you're back from your vacations from the Bahamas. How was it?
I guess it was good. I mean, packing, because as soon as I got back, I had to come back straight to school, which if you notice, different background. So, my bed's kind of a mess because I still got some stuff to sort out.
So it's your first. So you're moving into this kind of new place, right? New dorm?
It's literally the exact same dorm I stayed in last year. So, not really new.
Oh, okay. So it's home sweet home.
Basically.
Well, home sweet home, away from home. But it's nice to have you back after our little rendezvous of me and Christian.
Which I have no idea where Christian's at.
Christian is probably asleep. It is all past 12 p.m. in East Coast. Shout out to our friend Luis. He says, "What's up, guys? What's the occasion?" The occasion is just it's Friday night. We have literally nothing going on, so we decided we come out, we pod, and we talk about America. We talk about just random stuff about America, why we're fans, what got us to the point of being here, and just to show and dedicate our love towards you guys, because really, without you guys, there really isn't a podcast.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And so, just hang out. I don't really got nothing else to do. Like I told you, Ivan, before we got on, was at my cousin's seeing my future granddaughter. So, they're pretty exciting stuff right there. And I came back and now I got nothing to do.
That's beautiful. That just kind of puts your life in perspective on how life is just beautiful, and you get these moments, and it's just amazing,
Yeah, it really is, and I kind of already get that feeling, because my brother, he's 9, and so I've basically was changing his diapers when he was born, and taking this guy for ice cream when he wanted ice cream. So I'm the less strict one on him, but yeah, somehow he still tells me that he hates me, which is really weird. But
that's how you know that they love you.
Right? That's true, man. That's very true.
That is very, very true. Our friend Luis saying, "Cool, man. Looking forward to tomorrow. Hopefully we get that W, and we will be talking about that game. We'll be talking about kind of how we're feeling. We're kind of keep this podcast as biased as possible. I think we do very well to kind of keep ourselves very neutral in retrospective to when we actually pod about previews and reviews and stuff like that. But today I think we're going to lean towards more our Americanismo side, and we're really going to talk about tomorrow and what we expect to see from the team, and really what we want to see.
I think we're going to see some good stuff. To be honest, I have not seen Pumas play at all this year. To be honest, I don't even know why I would watch Pumas in the first place. But still, we'll see what happens too.
Let's be honest. I think we all expect a tough game tomorrow, but I think at the end of the day, you're confident in this team. Did you see what Mateus Uribe came out and said? I think his words were just a vote of confidence, saying, "Hey, I know I messed up. I know it was wrong of me to do so, but I am 100% in with this team, and I am not mad at the coach. I am not mad at any other player. It's just self-criticism on myself, and I know that I need to step it up." And those words in itself kind of gives you, as an Americanista, hope for tomorrow that he's going to bring his best.
It really does, because that's one thing we see. You got to see yourself as a player too as well. You got to see yourself and go back and see the mistakes you have and learn from those mistakes too as well. And we know the level Mateus Uribe can play at, and he even knows too, and he knows he's not been playing at that level, and so he knows he wants to step it up, which is a very good sign coming from him too as well.
No, yeah, definitely. Hopefully, he can actually get back to that form that to the point where people were saying Real Madrid were interested in him.
Yeah, dude. It's funny too. Whenever we were talking about that too, I think it was Tuesday. Christian brought it up, and I thought he said Oribe, not Uribe, and I was like, what? Like,
Oh yes, you did say that. No, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, it's ridiculous, but I think we can expect a really good game. It's a Clásico Capitolino, and I kind of want to talk to the people right now about what the Clásico Capitulino means. Now, as I mentioned in on Tuesday, it's a game in which you're taught at a very, very young age from the youth academy that you are to win that game no matter what. You live and you die
was
for
it Tuesday or Thursday, Ivan?
Was it? It was Thursday. Thursday I said that. I forgot we went on twice, so it's kind of like we had a doble jornada within the own podcast. But it's a very important game. I think ever since I've supported the team, there's 3 games in which you look forward to the whole season. Obviously, the biggest one being Chivas, and then after that is Pumas. Cruz Azul is a bit important one, and I think it's actually getting to the level of the Pumas game in recent history. But I think Pumas has just this trajectory in which we've always had really, really good games against them. And we've always had games in which if we go to the Estadio de Pumas, it's always going to be a tough game for us. In recent years, sometimes we've gotten away with some situations, but for the most part, it's always going to be a tough game. And for them to come to the Azteca, it's always been a tough game for them. So it's always nice to see how these two teams come and level up. And it's going to be important to see what the team is capable of doing against them tomorrow, which should be a very interesting game. My friend Luis says, I got to see America versus Pumas in LA back in 2016, which is dope. And so you're local to kind of like my area because you said LA. Will you be going to the game against Guadalajara? Because we might, me might be going to that game in regards to covering that game, but we'll let you guys know about that. Yeah, representing the pod. But yeah, I mean, Dylan, you've experienced plenty of America Pumas as a fan, even though you've kind of been a little bit more quote unquote on the newer side. What do you remember from these games?
Really, just a tough battle. Really, that's all it is. Like you said, it's just kind of going back and forth. If I'm gonna be real honest, though, I honestly don't remember a single loss America has against Pumas. I think I remember mostly coming out either draws or ties. Really, I don't really remember much between that two as well. Interesting. Huh?
You said draws or ties.
Well, honestly though, I kind of do have some confidence going into this because when I was watching Gotti's Foot Mix prediction or game of the week, interesting fact that I didn't know was that Piojo is undefeated against Pumas, and I really have some confidence going into that, knowing that.
Yeah, he has a very good track record in Clásicos in general, and our good friend Miss Cari Torres, who predicted that our team would be winning tomorrow. Hopefully, her prediction streak continues after tomorrow as well. I think if you look at the facts, America's in recent history does have a better trajectory against Pumas. I think the most notable games have been the ones we've played against them in the Liguilla, and a little bit of some of the games that we've played in regular season. I mean, who can forget that Cecilio chip in against them in the Estadio Azteca?
Yeah, definitely something I remember too. I remember watching that game, definitely.
Do you remember the vote of confidence we had in Cecilio after that game?
Oh my gosh, dude! I really do remember that too. And you going into that, you never think you're gonna see the chip twice on a PK, because
right?
Who was it that took it first?
Chino Romero.
Yeah, Chino. Yes. I remember. Oh man! After that, man, he scored. He had a brace that game, didn't he? Didn't Cecilio have a brace that game?
Cecilio did have a brace that game. It was a 2-1 victory for us in the Estadio Azteca.
Okay, yeah, I remember that. Wasn't it Azteca though?
It was Azteca. It was literally a year ago in the Apertura. Because remember, Silvio Romero was still playing for us.
Okay.
Clausura, right. He wasn't playing for us.
Right. Okay. That I don't know why I was thinking the Clausura, but yes, it was the Aventura. Yes, that's why I was getting confused at.
Can I say something that a lot of people, if they come back and listen to this video, they will realize that maybe I have a point or I'm just extremely crazy. I think a partnership between Silvio Romero and Roger Martinez would absolutely be deadly right now.
You think so?
I know so. I know that partnership would be deadly.
That's something you can only dream about now.
It is. It's something I can only fantasize about, and I'm gonna sign Silvio Romero in my next career mode on FIFA 19. Because look, there as much as we don't want to praise him for what he did, he was a very strong player, which kind of had some of the similarities of Roger, except Roger is more of a tank, and Cecilio Dominguez is more of a Cecilio Dominguez. Silvio Romero is more of a well-built guy that can body out a player or two, but Roger can just absolutely just run down the whole field and take players on like nothing. But I think in the end of the day, I think they would both play off each other very, very well because they both have this tendency of being able to take on at least one or two players. I mean, we knew that Silvio Romero's finishing was just terrible, but I think if he was to play it off against Roger, then I think Roger easily just slots that into the back of the net.
How's your finishing, Ivan? Let's hear about that.
My finishing, you know what though? I mean, I've played forward before, and I have in my whole life, I have only scored 2 goals my whole life. One, I remember I was in the eighth grade, and I scored about outside the 18-yard box, uh, kind of in the corner, and the second time I ever scored was as a goalkeeper, but it was through a penalty.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I was like, what?
I didn't pull off a Munoz if that's what people were expecting to hear.
That's what I was expecting to hear.
I was close to it this season with my
Oh, yeah. I remember you telling me that.
But it didn't come through. But we still made it to the final. But that was just like, I guess, my little crazy random take on Silvio Romero and Roger Martinez. And you know why I have Cecilio Dominguez in mind is because I really think he's going to start tomorrow.
Yeah, I think so too.
And if he does, I think he's going to be a very crucial player.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, I think Cecilio's got a good track record against Pumas too as well.
No, yeah, I think.
Yeah, because if you look like, obviously we talked about the Apertura game in Pumas too in the Azteca, and then you go back to the Clausura, still not the best Cecilio, but I mean he still had his flash, he still had his moments against Pumas too as well back then in Clausura.
No, yeah, indeed, and I think him and Ibarra are going to be two very crucial players.
It's Cecilio and who?
And Ibarra.
Oh, okay. Yeah, definitely. Ibarra, I mean, I've said it time and time again, even though he's come back from injury, he really hasn't missed a beat. That's really something good to see from a player. And, he's going to come out and really, really prove himself this game, which is something that he needs to do.
Yes, he does. And you know what? The funny thing is, I'm mentioning these two players, and I realized that in my prediction, I had said that the most vital tactic we could do is play through the middle. And me mentioning these two wingers kind of contradicts what I'm saying. But if I can take it back just a step before I said that, I will say this: these two players are going to be crucial, not just in the attack but in the defense. I want to see what Cecilio Dominguez does because we've seen throughout the year that he has the capability of coming and dropping back and being an extra help to whoever the left back is. We know Renato Ibarra will do it. Renato Ibarra has lungs of steel and will play 90 minutes going back and forth. So the right-hand side, I'm not worried about. It's the left-hand side that I'm really worried about when it comes to Pumas trying to counterattack us, which I think that's going to be their game plan.
Yeah, I think so. And, I feel like that's how it's been all season 2 with these teams as well. This is something we got to handle. Guido's got to step up. From what reports said today, Mateus Uribe did not practice with a first team, I guess you can say, in a sense. So, it'd be interesting to see if he actually does start tomorrow as well. We could probably see Benny Corona in there too.
You know what? I think we are going to see Guido because I don't think Joe is the right move to make, especially in a Clásico. Because as much as you hold down the midfield, you kind of lose gap. Because let me paint a perspective for people. Okay, so you have Guido Rodriguez and Joe Corona, right?
This is the time where you need the whiteboard, Ivan, just to just like
I
show the people.
know. And you know what though? I was actually thinking maybe I should invest in a whiteboard, but I was like, I don't even coach. Why would I need it? But now I could see why I need it. But um think about it like this in this perspective. At the end of the day, it's a podcast. So the people that are going to be listening to it, not watching the live show, need to kind of visualize it in their head. Think of it as this on the pitch. Two players that are very, very, very keen on holding a midfield and keep themselves very deep within that midfield are going to sit back and not push forward because they're so used to that tactic. So now we lose a little bit of that midfield. Now, if we have a cam, which we know we probably will in Oribe Peralta, as much as we don't like it, it means that we have a gap that is kind of being covered. But if Oribe Peralta goes forward, what happens? That gap is gone. That means we don't have players there. That means Pumas can easily win the ball back and be able to play out with no real pressure because Guido is trying to cover his section. Joe is going to try to cover his section. But if we have Mateus Uribe on the pitch, we know Mateus will push forward, leaving Guido the responsibility of trying to cover that whole center defensive mid, which we know Guido is capable of doing so. And in that sense, giving Mateus Uribe the liberty to be in that cam and center mid position. And at the end of the day, that kind of makes it so that we have at least one player in that position being able to kind of block and stampede anything that Pumas is able to bring forward through that channel.
Trying to collect here a little bit,
No, and
I see what you mean though. Yeah, I mean it's obviously true because really have you seen Mateus Uribe, push forward like you said these past few games that he started?
Very little, and I've hated the fact that you've seen very little of him because we know he loves to do that, and he has all that liberty to do so because Guido's there.
Mm-hmm. Because I mean, because like me and you've always said, Guido does the work of two center defensive mids,
which is amazing.
I don't know why he goes the whole 90 minutes.
And that team, he's got lungs of steel just as much as Renato Ibarra does. But I mean, at the end of the day, you can only hope that Mateus Uribe does start because I think that's the right move to make, and I think Mateus Uribe is hungry. And what better way than the Clásico?
Well, not just that, but these players still got to come out and perform. I mean, I think they want to start. I think they want to play. Obviously, I think Mateus Uribe wants to start. Because he wants to go out and prove himself and play better because he can play better. But it's going out and actually doing it, not just saying you're going to do it.
And I think we will. I think they will. I think they're at a state where they know that they've messed up these last two games, and they need to fight back and they need to get back. Before the jornada started, we were in 5th place, and now I'm not too sure.
Against Leon, we were in 5th place.
Yeah. I don't know. I really don't know how we're doing right now.
We're in 5th right now on 10 points.
Which Chivas just caught up with us.
Yes.
After the victory against Atlas in the Clásico Tapatío.
I'm pulling up the standings right now.
Okay. So while you do that, let me explain the fact how important it is to leave Pumas, who is tied with us in 10 points as well, and Chivas behind at least by a 3-point margin.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and just say the top 8 because at the end of the day, this is the top 8 that matters.
Yeah.
But Cruz Azul is in first with 16 points. Monterrey in second with 15. In third, Santos is in third with 13 points. Morelia is in fourth with 11 points. America in fifth with 10 points. Pumas in sixth with 10 points. Toluca in seventh with 10 points. And Chivas in eighth with 10 points.
So a lot of 10 points.
Yeah, a lot of 10 points from the 5th spot, which is us, all the way down to Chivas, the 8th spot. Everybody's tied on 10 points.
That's why it's so important that America needs to win tomorrow. Because out of all those teams that come out and play, you can expect at least 2 of those to win. That means they get to 13 points.
Okay, hold on. Okay, can you explain to me why America? Okay, I mean, I want this. I'm not trying to say it's bad or nothing, but can you explain to me why America is ahead of Pumas on the table when obviously they have 10 points and they have the same goal differential too as well?
How many goals do we have against?
We have 3, right?
And how much does we only have 3? Necaxa scored 1 against us.
No, Necaxa scored 2.
Necaxa scored 2 against us.
Pachuca scored 1. Leon scored 2.
Leon scored 2. And Querétaro scored 1.
So that's 6. We have 6 goals against us.
How many does Pumas have?
1, 2. 2. Am I reading this right?
That's it. Pumas has only conceded 2 goals.
No. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure. They
So
lost.
we have conceded 6 and they have conceded 5?
They lost 1-0 against Querétaro. They lost 1-0 against Monterrey. They lost 3-1 to Necaxa. And that's it.
3.
Yeah, that's it.
Conceded 5 goals.
Maybe it's just SofaScore. Maybe SofaScore. Can we really?
Because I have them right here on top too. So we have both the same goal differential of 5 goals. Oh, we've scored more goals.
Than them. Okay, I got you.
Like we've literally scored more goals than them. That's the only reason why we're afloat right now.
I got you.
Not by how many you've conceded, but how many you've scored. Which we have 11. They have 10.
Okay, yeah, I got you now.
Same goes for Toluca. Damn.
Yeah. Okay.
You really need to win. You really need to win tomorrow.
I mean,
go.
I mean, you have to. I mean, at the end of the day, too. I mean, we've said this before too. I mean, you see the Necaxa game. You know, that should have been our wake up call. I mean, I was listening to the pod Thursday, and you're like, I really hope this is a wake up call to the players. When it should have been in the Necaxa game to me, really, it should have been in the Necaxa game, and that should have been a wake up call for these players and for Piojo too. And then we talk after the Necaxa game. You see this team go up. You see this team getting better at week in and week out, and then you see him slump a little bit against Querétaro, and then you just see him hit rock bottom almost. It seems like against Leon.
Yeah, but you know what though? Sometimes you maybe need a second wake up call, which is what we're having right now. And you really would have expected after the Necaxa game that maybe things would have buckled up, and they did for a while. They did. It's just sometimes you kind of fall off that horse. You just got to get right back on it, and hopefully tomorrow's the day we get back on it.
This is going to be a tight race. I mean, it really is.
And that's good. That's good. I want competition, and I want it to be a tight race because that should, in theory, bring out the best of you.
I think it's good. I think in the end, you see it. We're 7 weeks in. I mean, we're about to play our 7th game. I mean, you're way more than a quarter of the way into the season already. And to me that's a little scary because at the end of the day you can go back and you can look at the Querétaro game and say this is probably where we should have got 3 points instead of 1 point.
That is exactly what I was trying to make the statement for on Tuesday, that a championship side walks out of that game with a victory, even as poorly as we played.
But I mean, I don't know. I mean, this is something you got to think about in the end. I know we kind of said too, that after the Necaxa loss, that we still got the full season ahead and everything. But now it's getting to that point where every point's gonna matter now.
It is every point, every game is gonna matter at this point, and hopefully the boys are ready to just step up. Really, all we want is just a performance that showcases that you want to be out there on that pitch and you want to win.
I mean, because look at this team. I mean, this team really is stacked. I mean, you can't say that because, I mean, if you look at it, whenever we're going with Ibargüen and Lainez, I mean, you still had Cecilio and Renata on the bench.
And that's ridiculous, isn't it? And that's exactly what Brian's point was on Thursday. That, look, this team has no excuse to be playing the way that they're playing, especially with the talent that you have. This is a team that should know each other now for at least 6 months, if not more. And the fact that they're not doing so, That's what boils me.
Yeah, I mean, it's just ridiculous, really, too, as well. I mean, what more can you really say to that? I mean, like we said, you see the talent, you see the players that you got. And shoot, you can even dip into the academy too, as well.
And I mean, what Tony Lopez looks like he's just absolutely ready to go. But I mean, in the Liga MX, he wasn't really as convincing in the last couple of games he had.
I know, but I mean, but still, I mean, you can really, it's really arguable. I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna say you pick Tony Lopez over Ibargüen or Cecilio, but I mean, like, he's there. He can go out and perform.
I would definitely pick Tony Lopez over Ibargüen, not over Cecilio, but over Ibargüen. I would. He's just frustrating me to the max. I really, really can't right now with Ibargüen.
I'm telling you, I can't either, man. I can't either. I mean, it seems to me a little bit that Christian does kind of defend him in a sense, but I'm just like, no, dude, like, I can't deal with Ibargüen no more, dude.
Right now, Ibargüen has no person to defend him. Christian's asleep. He has to work tomorrow in the morning. Christian, if you listen to this later on, we love you, but no Ibargüen anymore, because you can't have him in the pitch anymore after the performance he had against Querétaro and the performance he had against Leon. There's 2 games where he played 90 minutes, and in those 90 minutes he brought out more frustration in me than the last 2 years I've watched America play.
Well, I mean, okay, obviously, I think it's his fault because he doesn't come out and play, obviously, too. But can we put some blame on Piojo too? What does Piojo see in this guy?
Yes, exactly. Why does he keep him on for 90 minutes, especially against the Leon game? I tweeted out throughout the Eagle Eye podcast account the formation that we were using once he made the substitutions. Mateus Uribe was on the right. Ibargüen was in the cam position, okay? Cam. And Cecilio Dominguez was on the left, and Guido Rodriguez was left alone. And you know what that did? That left such a big hole, such a big gaping hole for Leon to exploit in the counterattacks, which they did. And that's why I didn't want Ibargüen playing in that cam position, let alone be on that pitch, because he was a liability to us. And for 90 minutes, he played.
I'll never understand that, dude. I never will.
Now, I do want to talk about Piojo because there's a lot of people, and I didn't touch upon this on the podcast because I think it probably wasn't the right time to do so. Right now, it's the late night edition of the Eagle Eye podcast, so maybe it is. A lot of people are questioning, and our good friend, our good co-host, Christian, has said it himself too. Is it time to look past Piojo? Is it time to say someone needs to come in and get Piojo out of his position? Especially if he doesn't win against Pumas tomorrow. A lot of people will crucify him. A lot of people have done so already, and a lot of people have been ready to deal Piojo out of the club after 2 poor results. Let's face it, Querétaro was a poor result, even though we got a draw, and Leon, of course, no one's gonna forget how horrible that game was. But I do not remember hearing people ask for his head when we were beating Monterrey 3-0.
Exactly. And it is frustrating. We can sit here and I think I can repeat myself going on and on about my frustrations with Piojo. But at the end of the day, I say it too on and on, but who else is out there to replace him?
Me and you, Dylan. Me and you.
That's all you need. That's all you need, just me and Ivan. That's really it. We'll just send Ibargüen to play with the Sub-20s, dude. Just send him down, dude. Loan him out something, dude. Just tell him it's like you need to go out and you need to get yourself better, dude. And you're gonna do that with the U20s.
Look, me and Dylan go down there to Coapa. Learn the installations, learn the way, learn the trust of the players. That's all you need. And we will promise you, I promise you right now, this is word to everyone who is listening. If we go down there and take Piojo's job, me and Dylan, I promise you 7 championships in a row. 7 championships in a row. And you know why, though? Because I know we can get to the players to a level that they would understand what it is that we're playing for. Look, we know the players. Me and you know the players. We know what their forte is, and we know what their weaknesses are. We know what their strengths are, and we know how to play to their strengths and how not to play to their strengths. So it's easy for us to easily say that 4-4-2 is magical for us right now. 4-4-2 is magical for us right now because you have a system that works perfectly if you let it be. Okay, let it be, let it run, let it flow. Don't put Oribe in that camp position anymore because I swear to you, Piojo, if you do, I am gonna go mad again. But look, me and Dylan go down there. Dylan easily situates himself, gets to talk to the players. I will give a speech to them and say this much: me and Dylan are here not to make anything out of you guys, but to bring the best out of every single one of you players that we know you guys can. You guys play for an institution that means a lot to people. That means the world to people. There are people out there who place their whole lives on your guys' results. So we're going to go out there and we're going to perform. We're going to play attacking football. And even though we sometimes may not play the most attractive football, we are going to go out there and get a result. I don't care if you have to give your last gota of sweat on the pitch. You're going to leave it on the pitch and we're going to walk out with that result. And I promise you that after me and you are done talking to those players, we are going to go back to back championships, and we are going to make it into the Guinness World Book of Records of the most championships in the Liga MX.
I'm so inspired. I'm so moved by this. I really am. Hey, well, we know Mr. Ted Brooks. We know Laura Saka knows us. So, I mean, we got connections. I mean, we could do it.
We do. Shout out to Mr. Ted Brooks, who's doing an amazing job with the English account, who I met, at least, whenever I went down to Fresno. So shout out to him. Shout out to the Resaca Margarita, who are so close. I mean, so close to that 100K subscription account on YouTube. Make sure you guys do go follow them. I feel horrible because we have yet to subscribe. I've subscribed on them on my account, and I know you have to. You have as well. We just haven't gotten to that point on the Eagle Eye Podcast account, but we will, and we're gonna get you guys closer to that 100K account. But yeah, you know, at this point, I don't see anyone else too that can come in and fill Piojo's shoes besides you and me, like we mentioned. But anyone else? I know Christian said Vucetich, right?
Yeah, I think he said Vucetich, yeah.
But look, as much as Vucetich did amazing things with Monterrey, and as much as he did good things with Querétaro, I just see him flopping in America. I don't know what it is. I don't know why, but I just see him flopping in America.
We can call your man too, Ivan.
Who?
You know who?
Mourinho?
No.
Who?
Ruben Omar Romano.
No. No, you keep him as far away from the club as possible. No, don't bring him in. Oh my God, he's just gonna stink the place up with cigarettes. Our good friend Luis said Zidane. I mean, yeah, that's viable, but I think he's looking at maybe potentially getting a French national team job. I don't know how well that's gonna be after the last coach won the World Cup.
Not Beckham. What's his name? The French national team. No, the French national team that just won the World Cup with them. What's his name?
Deschamps?
Yeah, he's not staying there no more.
I know. I think they will. They'll keep him. I mean, how are you gonna get rid of a coach that just won you a World Cup?
I don't know. I mean, maybe he's like, you know, I won the World Cup with the team. That's what I had to do, and I'm out. That's it. Yeah. I don't know because that would have
been smart because Vicente del Bosque went through the same thing with Spain. He won the World Cup, and what happened afterwards? He had Spain for a good 2-3 years, and then once it came to the World Cup, absolutely flopped.
Yeah, that's true. And, you know, 4 years, you know, let's see if the curse continues still, because I mean, you saw that with Germany too.
Dude, but France is stacked.
I mean, France is really stacked
with talent. And to let alone, this was a very young French national team that went and won the World Cup.
Yeah, and you know, just kind of a little off topic too. You know, a lot of controversy into this too, because a lot of people were saying, you know, most of the players were from African nations. You know, I kind of really thought that was dumb.
Oh, the African descent. Yes.
Yeah. I thought that was really dumb.
All I'm gonna say is this: they chose their side, and that's it. You let them play, and let them associate with the nation that they want to associate themselves with. There's no reason why we should judge on that. With that said, Paul Pogba, I know you listen to this. Come and play
Okay.
for America. Mourinho is not loving you as much as I hate it because I'm a Man U fan. Come play with us. You're gonna love Mexico City. We got bomb food. Shout out to our good friend Tom Harrison, who is literally gonna go work down there at the Mexico City for the West Ham Mexico Academy. Shout out to you, Tom. Absolutely amazing. Congratulations. We expect great things from you. You're gonna deliver amazing things for us, and keep doing what you're doing because of what you've done. You've gotten to the point where you're at. You're an inspiration for me and Dylan, and for many, many, many more people who are just starting to start their trajectory in this kind of path. And congratulations to you for everything. I have recommended to you a torta de tamal and a bambazo, and if I can, dude, get tacos de a pastor. It's just gonna rock your world, okay? Just absolutely rock your world. Um, where was I going with this, Dylan?
I don't know. First, we're talking about
Oh yes,
potential
Pogba.
candidates, and then Pogba. Yeah.
Come to America, hold that midfield, and you can easily play Cam, or you can let Guido Rodriguez, not Guido Rodriguez, Mateo Uribe play Cam, and that's
Dude,
all I'm gonna say.
can you imagine that? I don't know. Like,
I
I don't
once
know.
I once dream
Like,
of a day where Liga MX is like level with the Premier League, and that is when we will bring in these kind of big, huge name players, like the Pogbas, like the Ronaldos, like the Dembeles, Coutinho's, all those kind of players. Because I really think that we have such potential in this league to be the best league in the world. You know, as much as people want to cling on to the Premier League, as much as people want to say La Liga and the Serie A now with Ronaldo and Juventus, that's all bullshit because the Liga MX has something that they don't have, and that is week in and week out drama, action, just a roller coaster of emotions that you cannot get anywhere else. And I think at the end of the day, if sponsors saw this, which I know that they do, but I mean, like sponsors from Europe saw this, they would be like, wow, let's get on this. The only thing that sucks is the time differential. That's the only thing that sucks. But at the end of the day, I think that if people really, really wanted to get into it, they would be more up in arms about Liga MX than they would ever be about the MLS.
yeah, that's very true. I mean, there's still a lot of cleaning left to do in the federation, though, especially with what's going on with Veracruz, the double contracts and stuff like that. It's really something that needs to be cleaned up if we really want to be taken seriously.
Yeah, but I mean, now Yon De Luisa coming in, ex America president, by the way, who I don't know, maybe he will, maybe he'll make it so that we win like 12 championships in a row without even having to make the Liguilla. Somehow he'll change the rules, but no, I think with John De Luisa, I think that's something that the boys down at the Cantina MX spoke about. It's gonna be more it's gonna be more diverse. The league, it's gonna be more open to business outside of Mexico, which I think is important. I think if they open themselves up to the international market, the league is absolutely gonna explode in the best way possible. In the best way possible.
Yeah, most definitely, and all comes back to with us doing it in English too as well. A lot of people, probably speak some English, and so this is a very good stepping stone for them too as well. And then pretty soon maybe we'll see it translate into French, German, and all those other things too as well.
Hey, shout out to our friend in Poland who has a Club America account for everything Polish.
I haven't seen them tweet in a while.
I know. I want to reach out to him. I just hope everything's good because he was actually killing it in the Clausura.
Yeah, he definitely was.
So now let's go back to the topic of America, but I will say this. Oh, Joan De Lisa, I know you listen to this podcast. Hit us up. Our phone number is 714. I won't say the rest because maybe you guys will actually hit me up. But hit us up. Literally, hit us up because I think we could do wonderful things for the club and for the league. But going back to America, our good friend Luis said, y'all think Menes will be able to help us when he returns? And Alex Pulido, for a second, I thought that said Alan. Lainez should come off the bench and fight for his position, he's gonna get burnt out. Let's address Luis's comment first, and then we'll talk about Alex's. But you really, Menes being able to help us, he will. He will help us so much when he returns. The only problem is he most likely will return at the start of the clausura.
Yeah, no, I think he will too. I think it's gonna take some time though. I don't think we should expect a sudden impact. I feel like for Wazzy to come off the bench and then he'll make his appearance back in the starting 11, and then we're gonna see that come out. But I don't really think it's gonna be a sudden impact for this team. I feel like it takes some time. I feel like we're gonna see the Menes whenever he first started playing with the Medica again, because injuries do have that, to me, like a psychological effect with players. With these players thinking, can I get back to the way I was performing before I got hurt? And so that's just something we gotta watch out for too as well.
No, yeah, I agree. Luis also saying, "You sleepy, Ivan?" I'm not. I am wide awake. I'm sorry if my eyes look sleepy. I'm not. I'm good. We're gonna keep going for another 65 hours, and let's address Mr. Alex Pulido, because I agree with you. I think he'll come back and he will address some of the concerns that we have for the team, in ways only Jeremy Menes can.
Mm-hmm.
So let's hope for a speedy recovery. Let's hope he can come back at least for the Liguilla. At least me and you would have imagined that the team makes it that far.
The Liguilla, that's kind of pushing it for me. To be honest, I'd rather have him back for the Clausura. I don't really want to watch the rest of it.
Okay, that's arguably really good too, because you throw him into the Liguilla, and that's kind of like an unknown factor, and that just kind of puts him into a position where he might help the team out, but he might just diminish it as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's go to Mr. Alex Pulido's comment, who said Linus should come off the bench and fight for his position. He's gonna get burnt out. I believe he is correct in the sense that he should fight for his position, because I think after these last 2 games, I think he maybe lost his starting position.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, me and you gave praise to Linus too. I really think Linus is something special. I think Linus is going to be something special, and I think in the future, we're going to see almost like a Chucky and Linus on the wings, or on the wings, or the right side, left side of the midfield, which is going to be something very deadly, something very good. But we've seen this. We've seen these teams come through the youth academy. We've seen these players, be that it person. Then what happens? They fade away. And so it's really, I do think Linus has merit some starts, but really in the end, it's more that he deserves, 30 minutes in the match coming off the bench. I think that's what Linus needs to be doing, and also playing in the Copa MX, starting in the Copa MX, making his name there too as well. If I'm going to be real honest, I really don't like this report of him going to the national team, but at the end of the day, I do kind of understand, because a lot of people are calling for new faces in the national team too as well. But after seeing what he did against Pachuca, we see what he can do, and in the next 2 games, you see them not do what he did against Pachuca, which is really not necessarily worrisome, but something that you got to watch out for too as well.
Yeah, look, I agree with you in the sense that Linus needs to prove himself a little bit more, but I remember last year talking to you, specifically telling you this much. Linus to me is Rashford. Not literally the same players, but give him the time, give him the space, and give him the bench the way that Rashford has done things. Look at the World Cup Rashford had. Yes, it wasn't impressive. Yes, it wasn't the World Cup that people expected of him. And I know that a lot of people are going to be like, you're bringing this back to Manchester United, but it's just the perfect analogy. Rashford, when he came in to debut, he absolutely killed it for us in Manchester United. But you started giving him more game time. You started playing him. You saw that he wasn't the same explosive player because it got a little bit to his head. But you sit him down, you bench him for a little bit. He comes back off the bench, is explosive, and is amazing. Just the way that Mr. Alex Pulido said, he is going to be a great player for a great explosive player coming off the bench for America. Rashford has done that for Manchester United. Now he has earned his spot in recent times to be the starter. I see Rashford and Linus literally neck and neck with being somewhat of 2 very, very talented young players who If you give him the time like Rashford has been given, if you give Linus that same amount of time and that same responsibility, yes, he's not going to show up to every single game. That's understandable. He's 18. No, not even 18. He's 17, right?
No, he's 18.
Oh, he's 18? All right,
He
congratulations.
turned 18 in July, like the beginning of July or the end of June, I think.
But I already see that you're talking to Luis. The Manchester United is doing bad. Well, one bad game does not constitute us being bad. Although I don't have much confidence for us this Monday. But look, you give Rashford that time. Rashford's gonna be an amazing player for Manchester United. Lenny is gonna be an amazing player for not only America, for the Mexican national team as well. These two, all you need to do is give them game time on and off the bench. That's it. Start them here and there. They don't perform, bench them. Bench them. They're gonna perform. They win their spot back again. And it's a simple process until to the point where they can perform game in and game out without anything getting to their head. Because at this stage, they're very young. They're very impressionable. You know, can you imagine? Because he's way younger than the both of us. Can you imagine being that age, being the talk of the town, and absolutely knowing that you have talent to run around the fences like nothing? That easily can get to your head. That can easily get to the point where you're just like, yeah, I'm the shit. But
yeah, but I think he's handled it well. I think he's been very mature whenever it comes to talking to the press.
Yes, when it's talking to the press, yes, but on the pitch, that's a whole different story. He's actually starting to believe it. He's that all of that is starting to actually get to his gameplay.
Yeah, I mean, because he knows too. I mean, let's be honest. He knows. I mean, he's gone out and actually done things, and people have actually praised him for it. And yeah, he's seen it, and yeah, he's gonna think that. But like, he knows too. I mean, shoot, he's out doing it. He sees it himself. He's experiencing it firsthand. I mean, how can you tell him not to believe?
No, I'm not telling him to believe. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
He just needs to find himself kind of self-centered in all of this. That's it. But I think he has the right people around him. I think he has the right manager to kind of, and I know a lot of people won't believe this because Piojo is not really known for giving the youngsters an opportunity, even though he should, because I mean, who gave Raul Jimenez the opportunity? It was Piojo. So let's not forget that Piojo actually does play the babies. And let's just give him this opportunity. Yeah, he didn't play these best two games. Sit him down. I actually would prefer him to play against Pumas because I think, like I mentioned, him and Edson know what it is to play against Pumas. Know what it is, especially from the youth academy, and they're gonna live and die this game to the last drop of sweat, and that's it.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know. I get it. I'd like to see him play too, but if he's gonna play, I'd rather see him come off the bench.
Diego Lainez, I know you're listening to this right now. Know that we love you. Keep doing what you're doing, but please, for the love of God, don't try to messy it out. Play the simple ball if you have the opportunity, because look, a lot of people don't see the game as simple as it is. It is a very simple game in which all you need to do to win a game, all you really need to do is know how to pass simply. And Pep Guardiola taught the world this, and when really the world should have known already about this. All you need to do is touch the ball. Don't even overcomplicate yourself. Don't force a ball. Don't try to split a ball in a situation where you don't need to do so. Don't try to lob the ball. Don't try to play long ball. United, all you need to do is simply pass the ball. Pass the ball. 1-2. The most effective move in soccer is not a bicycle. It is not a mag. It's not a 30-yard dash sprint. It's a wall. It's a 1-2. A 1-2 pass will kill any opponent. Any opponent. That is the most simplest and most effective move in the sport. And that is what Barcelona did under Pep Guardiola. That is what Manchester City is doing under Pep Guardiola right now, and what Bayern Munich did under Pep Guardiola. If you can understand that as a professional and as a team, all you need to do is play that 1-2 pass. All you need to do is keep it simple. This game was never meant and never intended to be this kind of tactical and really tough game to break down. It was meant to be a very simple, straightforward. It is whoever can play the simplest, whoever can play the most simplest ball, and whoever can play the smartest will win. And that is it. That is all America needs to do. If they can remember that, if they can do 1-2 passes, I promise you, we will be champions at the end of the season if we know how to play the most simplest sport in the world, and that is this game. A 1-2 pass will kill any opponent. A 1-2 pass will get you over the defense and will get you straight in front of goal. Now, if it's Oribe Peralta who's going to finish, then that's a whole different story. And if that's Henry Martin who's going to finish, that's a whole different story. So you better hope Roger Martinez is there to finish. But this game is simple. This game was never intended. When the English made this game, it was never intended to be this tactical 4-4-2, 3-5-2. Who's going to have more midfield? Who's going to have more ball position? Who's going to be able to go run down the flanks and all this stuff? It's very simple. And my family has taught me this ever since I was a little kid. The most simplest thing you can do in a game is learn where your teammates are, learn to pass the ball, play those 1-2 movements. That is it. That is really, really it.
At least you had somebody there to teach you. I've been having to teach myself.
And that is the beautiful thing about this.
Yeah.
You can teach yourself. And you can learn.
I think those helped a lot too. I still haven't finished reading this book, but that book, Inverting the Pyramid.
Yes, that book is amazing, and I have never read a single page. Oh, I have. I actually, funny story. A couple years ago, I went to Barnes and Noble, and I looked for the book. I found the book. I read a couple pages. I thought, wow, this book is really amazing. It was like 20-something bucks. I was like, oh no, I don't have the money for it. I'm come back next week. I never came back. But I probably should buy that book.
I mean, it gives the enriching history of like whenever like the FA was made and like some of the big teams that was at the time, and it's like really weird, like the formation. Obviously, they had the goalkeeper, and then it goes into like a deeper meaning of the formation. Like it would be like a 2-1-8 formation, where you had 2 defenders, 1 midfielder, and 8 attackers. And like
imagine that right now.
But like then too. I mean, like everybody was basically free roaming too. I mean, now obviously you have your left mid. He's got to stick in his position. You're gonna have your center defensive mid who's gonna stick in that position to hold down in front of that back line. And back then, really everybody was just all over the place, just kicking the ball around, really.
Yeah. I mean, nowadays you have to be a little bit more disciplined.
Yeah.
It's like everything in life. Yeah. Like everything in life, the game evolves. Like we've evolved, like the society evolved, everything's evolved, and this game is no exception to the evolution of man and time.
And I don't think Paulo Aguilar's evolved though.
No, Paulo Aguilar is an exception. He would not qualify into the Darwinism theory that all creatures evolve, because it looks like Paulo Aguilar has been Paulo Aguilar from day one. But you know what? I like Paulo. I think he's an exception because what he's able to give you in the front and in the back is ridiculously good. Although, granted, he's getting older, so he's not able to track back as well as he did in his early mid-20s. But he's still a very, very good fullback. I would argue probably still the best right back that Mexico has.
I'm sorry, you kind of cut out a little bit. Can you go back a little bit and repeat what you said?
Yeah, that Paulo Aguilar is even with everything that he does, he's still amazing. That I think he's still arguably the best right back in Mexico.
Yeah, I think so too. I think really, can you only say it's between Paulo Aguilar and Chaco Rodriguez? Really, I think that's only two. That's only the debate right there too.
Yeah, but you know what? I don't think they give you that same presence going forward that Paulo Aguilar does.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
But I mean, Hopefully he's good to go for tomorrow.
Have you not read anything? Any reports or nothing?
No, you know what? It's been very quiet in regards to Pablo Beach. You know what though? I think it's because the media has been so distracted with what's been going on with America that they're not asking whether or not Paulo Aguilar is ready to go. You know what else? I was really really surprised that Piojo did not give his lineup today.
He didn't. I just realized that.
And our good friends down at Darasaca Americanista, who are always, always there in the installations of Coapa. They brought us our live report, and nothing. I don't even think he had a press conference.
Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, only one can imagine. Only one can imagine.
I mean, you did see him walk out,
and I think it was the right move to make, because he would have said something stupid. He would have cost himself a suspension. And it wouldn't have been the same to not have your coach in a Clásico than to have your coach in a Clásico.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
Because as much as people don't see it or don't realize it, Piojo lives and breathes these games like if he was actually a player, especially a Clásico.
He definitely does. He really does. And
keep going.
Oh, I'm just saying, like, he brings a presence really to this team when he's on the pitch too as well. I think me and you both could agree he does bring a lot. He does bring some passion, especially on the sideline too. And maybe that's what the players need in the end too.
If you see your coach get passionate, get riled up, defend you at every cost against the referee, that is then returned in the favor of the players by playing out of their skin, which is, I think, what makes Piojo a great player manager. I don't know how well he is of a tactician, but as a player manager, he gets a lot out of his players. And sometimes, I'm not saying all the times, but sometimes getting your players riled up and behind you is worth more than being tactically ready for the team ahead. But that's only a couple of times. I'm not saying it's always going to work out, because like we've seen against Leon, it didn't work out.
Yeah, exactly. Point on, spot on, Ivan.
But I mean, that kind of gives you an idea of what we're expecting tomorrow.
It really does.
No, keep going.
No, just like you said, it really does.
Oh no, Dylan has frozen with us. As always, it would not be an Eagle Eye podcast without Dylan actually getting a little bit of internet problems. But Mr. Alex Polito said, kind of miss Benedetto and Uribe duo, which was a very, very good duo, especially after the duo that was Chucho Benitez and Raul Jimenez. The fact that you had Pipa Benedetto and Uribe Peralta, who read and understood each other to a very good point, that is very, very much missed. Hopefully, I really do hope that we can get that back in Roger. I mean, I don't know if Uribe was the right player, but maybe Henry. Even then, I don't even understand if that's the right move to make or what player to get. But we'll see. Dylan is still having a little bit of technical issues, so let me try to help him out here, see what's going on, so that we still have Dylan. Let me see if I can help him out right here. But thank you to everyone who has tuned in to watch this, whether you're in the live chat or whether you're not. It's always great to have you guys on board. Dylan, you're back.
Dude, like, I was literally still talking. Then you're like, "Oh, Dylan froze." And I was like, "Dude, no, I'm right here. Like, what are you talking about?" He was like, "Well, it's not a podcast unless we have technical difficulties." I'm like, "Dude, I'm right here." I was like, "What are you talking about?" And then it finally disconnected.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh no, he left."
It is what it is. Back to that school Wi-Fi. All those problems we had.
That is true. That school Wi-Fi. But our good friend, Mr. Chicken Biscuit, we haven't seen in a while. Glad to see you here. He says Benedetto scored some stunners in the Conca Champions. He did. But not only that, but I remember a time where he came and scored great goals for us in the league as well. The only thing that plagued Benedetto, the only thing that plagued him was the injuries. He was so injury prone. And the fact that he got injured with his time in America meant that he didn't get as much game time as he needed to be that, I would dare to say, 12 and up goal scorer for a season.
It's just really, really, really it's something that we missed and something that we haven't had. I think you were touching on this whenever I disconnected, but I mean, when's the last good partnership that we really had? And I go back and think of Raul Jimenez and Chucho Benitez, because that is one of the first partnerships that I saw whenever I became a Medica fan. And then you see it too a little bit with Oribe and Benedetto too as well. And you can't really say that now. I mean, there's it's not really there. It's really not.
As partnerships go, the best ones I've seen are Claudio El Piojo Lopez with Clever Boas, Raul Jimenez with Chucho Benitez, a short period of time Raul Jimenez with Oribe Peralta.
Yeah, that's right.
Cuauhtémoc Blanco with Salvador Cabañas, and Benedetto with Oribe Peralta for a very, very short-lived amount of time. And that is it. I don't remember another time where we said, yes, this is a perfect partnership. How many times did we dread that Chino Romero and Oribe Peralta partnership?
Can't even tell you how many times, dude.
Exactly. So hopefully we can get to that point, because I think, though, now in the modern day, like we were talking about, the kind of the transition and the evolution of the game, you kind of get to the point where a lot of teams are just playing with a solo striker.
Yeah, it's really getting that way. It's really getting that way too.
And that could just be Roger.
That's very true. I mean, I wouldn't mind that. Would you like to see, let's say, Marche, Paul, Ed, Bruno, Reyes, with Guido, Renato on the right, Cecilio Dominguez on the left, Jeremy Menez and Roger up top? I mean, yeah. I think that's just killer right there, man.
It is, because what Jeremy Menez can do is he can play as a center forward instead of a cam, and that brings so much potential for the team to exploit.
Exactly. And you say it time and time again, we see what Jeremy Menez does. He gets the ball, he slows down the play a little bit, he makes his passes, and it just gets there. I mean, it just gets there. And I think me and you can agree. We saw, a connection between Menez and Oribe starting to build up until he got injured last in the Clausura.
And it was very unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate.
It really was, especially going forward in the CCL too as well.
I know. I really, really, really do hope so. But I mean, again, we're at the point where we can only hope so much. But we do have, like you said, a stack squad in which hopefully we can give Pumas one hell of a game, which I expect the team to do so.
I think so. I mean, like you said, these teams really gotta fill the colors too as well. And I think Piojo, gets it too as well. And Piojo's gonna go out there and motivate these guys, But at the end of the day, too, man, it's coming down to the teams performing on the pitch, because it's one thing to say it, it's another thing to go out there and actually do it. And really, we talk about consistency with this team, and that's another difficult thing too, as well as keeping that consistency week in and week out.
Which I think will be important. Really, really important. But Dylan, give me your prediction for tomorrow.
I think I said in the chat when I was watching, I think I said 1-1.
1-1.
Yes.
That is not good. Because if it's 1-1, people will have Piojo's head.
I mean, I'm just being honest right there. I mean, I hope I'm wrong. I really do. But I mean, after seeing this team, I didn't really see these past two games because I didn't get to watch the Leon game. Obviously, because I don't get Unimas on my TV station, so I apologize for that. But hearing what you said and seeing what happened in Querétaro game, it just seems like it's just going downhill a little bit.
But I mean,
in the end, I do hope I'm wrong. I really do. But I mean, if I'm gonna be a little honest here, 1-1 draw.
but I mean, I would hope that it's not 1-1. I would hope at least we get a victory.
Yeah, like I said, I really hope I'm wrong. I really want that victory because 3 points are really important right here. But just like I said, with the way the team is right now, some of the players not really stepping up. At the end of the day, like I said, it is all 11 players need to be on the pitch. It can't just be one or two players stepping up. It's a team game for a reason. There's no I in team if I'm going to be cliche here, but
There
that
isn't.
that that. That's how it is. And can you really tell me right now these past two games has it been 11 players on the pitch?
No, it hasn't, and that's the frustrating part.
Exactly. And so unless 11 players come out on the pitch tomorrow, then yeah, a victory. But if not, then I'm really good to go for a draw.
Yeah, I I really hope it's a victory though. I really do hope.
And like I said, I really hope I'm wrong.
I think we're all hope we were wrong when it comes to but a lot of people though have been struggling with the misfortune of not being able to watch these games because either Dish Network. Because if Dish is a package plan, or because maybe a perfect example, your cable provider doesn't provide that channel.
Mm-hmm. I don't get any más at all.
That's ridiculous. What are people doing? What are people doing? But you know what? All we can do is hope that everyone can watch the game somehow. But most importantly, just hope that the team goes out there and performs to the point where they know that they're playing for the fans and for themselves. I think that's more important too.
It really is. It really is. And like I said, it's all coming back. I really hope these players, and Piojo shows the game, shows what these players what they did wrong, what they can do better, where they can improve. Because I learned that a lot. Watching film, watching yourself, see what you do wrong, where you can improve. That's something that's really important too at the end.
Yep, it really, really is. So you're still going with that 1-1 draw?
I'm still gonna go with it if I'm gonna be realistic.
Okay, I'm going with the 2-0 win tomorrow. And we'll see exactly what happens. A lot of people will say that why am I not giving that 4-0 prediction?
Yes, I'm wondering that too as well.
Just because I think it's a classical, and in recent light to us, a couple of people have reached out in saying that the 4-0 prediction has gotten a bit arrogant.
Oh, screw that, dude.
But I don't. Oh, you know what I just realized, dude? You're wearing the number 83.
Oh yeah, this is my Cowboys jersey.
That is my number.
Or not my Cowboys jersey, my Cowboys t-shirt.
Nice. That is my number. 83 is my number.
I'm gonna give me just a plain goalkeeper jersey, and I'm gonna have 83 and Pineda on it. And if people ask me who is that and what team is that, I'm gonna be like, I don't know. This is just my friend. He's the host of the podcast, and I support him.
Nice. That's all a guy could ever ask for. But I just saw your 83, and I was like, wow, no way. That's amazing. Yes, the world has a funny way of making everything work out and pan out. But like I was saying, look, I just kind of want to talk to the people who are listening to this right now. When I give that 4-0 prediction, part of me does believe it. A part of me really does believe it. And how many times have I gotten close to it, Dylan?
Like 3 times, dude. These 3 times.
It's ridiculous how close I've gotten to it. But do know that when it does come from me giving this prediction, most of it is for the humor and intent of this kind of long joke going on that I would hope that many of you still enjoy to this day because it's been going on since the World Cup. But I really do hope that you guys don't see this as arrogance from us, but that's the last thing we ever want to hand off is this arrogance, or for us to come out and and give a sense that we have this hubris that we know it all, that we know exactly, and our team is the best team in the world. Because as much as we believe that, we know that we owe responsibility to you guys to be non-biased and to present to you guys the facts as it is. Even if you're Americanistas, you come to this podcast because I think at the end of the day, what me, Dylan, and Christian do is we're very objective about our own team, which is a very hard thing to do for some people, but we are very objective and we know what it is that we talk about. And we know we're very self-critical about our own team. If the team's not performing well, we'll be the first ones to tell you that. If the team is performing subpar, we'll be the first ones to tell you that. If our team is playing like Real Madrid or Barcelona, we will tell you that the team is performing well, but we will never say, and we will never in whatever way state that our team is everything and anything above the whole sport of the game or the league itself. We just call it as it is, and we stay as neutral as possible in our reviews. That doesn't take away the fact that we are die-hard Americanistas, that we bleed for this team, and that there is nothing more passionate in this world for us than to see our team perform and win in a great manner. But we owe responsibility to you, the listeners, and we owe responsibility to ourselves in a profession that we want to reach, that we need to be professional in that sense. And I think, Dylan, you can agree to that point that we have been to this point.
Yeah, it is true. And if you don't like the facts, then well, I honestly don't understand what you're doing here, because it is the truth. Like Ivan said, we're not going to go out and say, oh yeah, the team's playing good, the team's playing good. No, we're going to bring you the facts. We're going to tell you how the team is playing. We're just going to be dead honest. If people don't like it, then you can go start your own podcast and then do it then too as well. And I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to be that way because I don't think Ivan or anybody else has really seen me be that kind of person. But at the end of the day, it's the dead truth. It's really the dead truth, and Ivan pretty much said it all right there too. We're gonna bring you what we think and what is actually the facts, because we obviously do watch the games and we do read the reports. We do interact with others to get other people's opinions too, as well as right there. I think plenty of people have seen it too from the podcast. But at the end of the day too, this is our way of giving people a voice too as well. Obviously, you've seen us bring guests on and everything too. But I mean, at the end of the day, if you don't like the facts that we're bringing, then I don't know what to tell you.
That is true. That's true. And we're just gonna leave it at that. We're just gonna leave it at that. We're not gonna go into it anymore. And that's it. We just want to get that off our chest. We want to apologize if we ever came off in the wrong way to anyone and anything. And if we ever came off with this egoistic kind of self-loading perspective. And that is it. We apologize, and we hope that we can kind of turn a new leaf with all of you. And that's it. And that is it. That's really all we wanted to address. But I am going with that 2-0 result. As much as I want to say 4-0, I think at this point I'm trying to be as much realistic as I can. And that 2-0 result seems like it's possible.
Like I said, I just hope I'm wrong. But to me, with the way I see this team and the way this team has been playing, the past 2 games, and the way this team has been not a little, but pretty inconsistent, I think to me 1-1 is a fair result at this point. But I do hope I'm wrong. I really do hope we get that W, because 3 points are really, really crucial right now.
Yeah, that is true. And you know what? Funny thing, for the first time, the game will be on ESPN Deportes.
So am I not gonna get the game again?
No. It's gonna be on Univision and ESPN Deportes.
Okay.
Which is very interesting to me as to why ESPN Deportes actually got coverage for this game. Because if I'm not mistaken, Televisa owns 100% of this.
Dun dun dun.
Yep, exactly.
Conspiracy. Conspiracy I roll with Ivan.
It is exactly how a conspiracy at this point. But our good friend Luis says, anyone like Alondra Gonzalez? I have no idea who she is.
I don't know who that is either. Let me do some digging.
So Dylan's gonna do a little bit of digging of Alondra Gonzalez, but I'm still baffled by the fact that ESPN Deportes has the rights to this game. Really, really baffled.
Alondra Gonzalez.
So Dylan's gonna Google her right now, real quickly, as the power of Google.
Is this the one that went from Chivas to America or vice versa?
It could be.
Really, she plays for. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's
her. Okay. So yeah, I think she's doing good things for America, for the ladies.
It's still one of those things where we can't find a live stream still, and obviously we don't have the broadcast here in the States. So
I wish we did. Like I said, I think we give the ladies a little bit more of a platform than the men if we actually had them on TV. It's so hard to break down or even talk about them because highlights will be so misleading, so misleading. And you just want to be able, as I know you and I know me and I know Christian, we want to be as thorough as possible, and we don't feel comfortable being able to break down a game with just highlights.
Yeah, I definitely don't, because highlights can only tell you so much, really.
Exactly. So we urge the Liga MX Femenil community to break through or find a way to break through to the States. Or you know what, just hook us up with a link, because that's all we really need.
That's very true. Very true. Yeah.
But shout out to the Lady Aguilas, who are doing great things, and hopefully they continue to do so. You know?
Yeah, they're hungry. They really are.
And hopefully they continue to be that hungry team. Well, Dylan, we're running close to over an hour of this wonderful late night edition. Anything you want to close out this podcast with?
You want to switch to some L3 real quick?
Yeah. Let's go. Let's run it down. L3. What do you got?
I think everybody's seen the reports. I think everybody's seen that Tuca is going to be the interim manager for these friendlies coming up. We'll be giving out a list soon, supposedly, too, as well. I think it's going to be next week, if I read correctly and remember right.
How are you feeling about it?
For these two games, I feel okay. I feel like it's a good move. But, there was obviously before this, he obviously said he was not looking long term with the team, and now it's turning into where it could be long term for the team. And that's something I do not like. Tuca Ferretti taking over as a long term deal.
Look, I'll say this much: we've had Tuca Ferretti as our intermediate coach, or whatever it's called, when we ever played the United States for that Confederation Cup spot. Everyone was stating that he was going to stick on. He was going to be our coach. Won the game. Probably gave him every more reason to be the coach, and still didn't take it. I think he has this kind of stigma that he wants to be in Tigres, but it's kind of like that whole FIFA situation when you play career mode and you can be both the manager for your team and the nation. I think Tuca just wants to be that for a little bit. I think he kind of has a debt to pay to the Tigres fans, so he will continue to be there, but he will gladly take the intermediate job and say, okay, we'll get these two games out, and that's it. And I even spoke to you about this, Dylan. I don't think we should even rush into getting a new manager. I think our manager should be announced about 2019, whenever we do start the Gold Cup, or excuse me, Confederation, the CONCACAF League that is going to be. I think until then, that's when we should announce a coach. Let's take time. Like, as much as we said, who is out there for America, who's out there for Mexico?
Exactly, and I think a lot of people will resort to Mateus Almeida though too as well. And then there was some, it's a little off topic, but there were some reports that Mateus Almeida was going to take the Atlas job too as well.
Can you imagine what that's gonna do to the Chivas Nation fans?
I think he finally came out where there was a report. I can't remember which one, but I'm 90% sure it was just a report saying that he was not going to take the job.
Okay. Either way, I will say this much. Almeida was not the answer to our prayers. Someone is out there. Who? I don't know. The Federation has to be in charge of finding that person, but that person is out there, and that person can guarantee his victory if, only if, the Federation does things right.
That's the thing though too. That's the thing that grinds my gears too. Is you get this job and you know what's at stake. You know what the media is going to be like. You know what the fans are going to be like. You're going to hear it nonstop, week in and week out, day and night. And that's something that sucks, too, because as much as I want a new coach, I want somebody that's going to be right. And I want somebody that's going to be here for 2 World Cup cycles, because that's what we need. And people wonder why we stay in the round of 16, because we get one every World Cup cycle, it feels like. And in 2014 too, you see it too. We go through four coaches in a month during during a qualification. That's something you don't need. That's really not. And I like you said, I want the time to be taken. I want the candidates to be taken seriously, and I want this candidate to have 2 World Cup cycles under his belt, because that's something that we need. You can't just give these managers one World Cup cycle and expect success, because you're not going to get it that way.
You're really not. And I think you speak truth. But our friend Chicken Biscuit said that David Moyes should probably be the coach for the Mexican national team. No,
that's
please
a
don't.
no.
Please don't. I already suffered so much with him as the coach of United. I don't need that for my own nation. But who knows? Who knows? Maybe, I don't know. We should try to get Pep Guardiola fired so we can take the spot. And anyone who knows me knows that I support Madrid, or supported Madrid, because of Ronaldo and everything. But credit where credit is due. What Pep Guardiola has been able to do with the sport in the new era says a lot about him, and a lot about his, the way his mind thinks.
It really does. It really does a lot too. I feel like that's going to be somebody that we're going to need to as well whenever we find this new coach too as well.
Yep, I agree. I completely agree.
I mean, too, a lot of people, obviously too, calling for some new faces to the national team too as well. And I think we will get a lot of new faces, come to these friendlies too as well. I just want this team to go out, whoever the starting 11 is going to be, to go out and just, have a good game overall. At the end of the day, these friendlies don't really matter.
Yeah, they don't. We'll see. We'll definitely see exactly what happens. But anything else you want to add on?
No, I don't got anything else to add on.
Alrighty. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the close of the Late Night Eagle Eye podcast. Thank you for everyone who came out and chatted with us with the live chat. Maybe we'll do this again sometime next week. This was fun. This was really, really absolutely fun. Dylan, thank you for coming back from your vacation and from your college moving in to be able to talk to us.
Oh, no problem, man. It really was fun. I ain't got nothing to do. I'm probably just get ready for bed after this.
Same here. Thank you to everyone. Follow us on Twitter at the Eagle Eye Pod. We'll have you guys covered for everything tomorrow. And let's predict for the best against Pumas in the Clásico Capitolino.
Yes. Pray.
So,
hear me pray.
Thank you to everyone. We will be seeing you guys very, very soon again. And thank you again for all you guys' support. It means the world to us. We'll be talking and hearing from you guys very, very soon. And until next time, take care. Arriba la América.